Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the Jeep Solid Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the U-joints on your Jeep Wrangler.
Rattlesnakes! Don't drop it.
Stop!
That?
Actually had this for a... So this is my Project 1992 Jeep Wrangler YJ, and it has some worn out U-joints. So down under the Jeep here, we've got the rear drive shaft going to our Dana 35 rear axle, and we're going to replace that U-joint back there and on the front side up here by the transfer case. And one easy way to test the U-joints, get a hold of the drive shaft and try to give it a twist. Now in this case right now, the way this is parked, it doesn't move at all. If I give it a good shake, nothing. Now sometimes if you move the Jeep forward or backward just a little bit, so this does like a quarter of a turn, it'll take the tension off of it or just get the U-joint in a different position so it'll actually move. This one right now, it's not terrible. I can feel a little bit of movement in it. But you can have a completely failed U-joint where all the needle bearings are gone and it's just flopping all over the place. And that can be a dangerous situation. This one, I can feel a little bit of movement, so we're going to go ahead and replace it. Now the first thing we're going to do, we want to keep the drive shaft in the same position. When we reinstall everything, we want to get it in alignment because it's balanced. On the other side here, you can actually feel a little weight. So we want to keep the alignment the same. So what you want to do is get a little bit of your daughter's fingernail polish, or your wife, doesn't really matter. I chose a nice red polish here. And we're just going to mark the yoke and the drive shaft here, just so we get everything back where it goes. And the same on the back. And you can't really see here, but I've got a drip pan in the way here, a little oil pan. We're going to remove the strap bolts on the back side of the yoke here. There's 4 little bolts. It's always kind of amazed me that these 4 little tiny strap bolts hold your entire rear drive shaft in place. There we go. And with those 2 little straps off, we've got our little oil catch pan here because we could lose a little bit of transfer case fluid when we pull the drive shaft out here. And I didn't lose any fluid, but I think I'm low. Don't expect yours to come out dry like that. Expect to lose a little bit of fluid. I'm low on fluid, that's why it didn't drip out, so just be prepared for that. So I've got the drive shaft just in a vise there. It's not clamped down on it tight, just kind of helping hold it. And it's set up here for me to drive the U-joints out. I'm going to show you guys using the socket method. This is it's a fairly easy method and it's something most everybody has on hand, so I like that method. And then everything I need to pound it out of there. Be sure to wear some ear protection, eye protection as you're doing this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take these little clips out. There's 4 of them all the way around. What are these little snap rings? So next we're going to drive this U-joint out, and what we need is a smaller socket that fits inside. And that's going to be our driving force right here. And then we need a larger socket that the U-joint will actually fit inside of, so when it starts driving down into it, it has somewhere to go. So a larger socket like this is a 28 millimeter, fits nicely on the outside. So we're going to set it up like this. We'll get this yoke off first. So this is going to be the receiver. So we're going to set it down like that. And this guy on top to drive it down. Easy as that. I'm on the wrong side. I guess I can hold it like that. And now I'm just driving it out until it's bottomed out. So when the joint here is all the way off to the side, you'll kind of hit until it kind of starts running into itself and won't go any farther. And as you're doing this, beating on the drive shaft, be careful if you are saving the U-joint on the other side. You're going to want to actually tape these caps on because they'll fall off just like this happened here. I'm replacing this one so I don't care, but you can get your needle bearings all messed up in there and out of order, and it could just turn into kind of a nightmare. So if you're saving the U-joint on the other side, tape the caps on. Now that we have this cap exposed as much as we can, we're going to take a big set of pliers and try to twist it off of here. Okay, now that we got this cap off, we can go ahead and get the cap off the other side. Sometimes it'll be loose enough where you can just slip this right off. This one is still too tight, depending on the style of yoke you have. So we're gonna use the same method here to just pull that other cap off. I'm up against the oh, there we go. It broke loose. And I was talking about needle bearings earlier, if you're not familiar with needle bearings. So what these little guys are, and they're all around the inside. There we go, our first U-joint is out, easy as that. Okay, here's our new U-joint from Moog, and there's the part number for you guys. I will be sure to link this in the description below so you guys can find this part that fits on this axle on a Jeep Wrangler YJ. So we're going to start by taking the caps off here, and we're going to be real careful to keep the needle bearings all in place. Because what will happen is if those needle bearings get out of place or one of them falls over onto the bottom of the cap, then you won't be able to drive the cap all the way on. Okay, so I've got all my pieces set out here. So here's my caps. I'm going to set them off to the side real careful so I don't mess up the needle bearings. And yes, I went ahead and painted this. Well, I was doing a live feed on this actually. The video before this, if you look at my live videos, somebody mentioned, hey, paint the drive shaft. So yeah, I went ahead and cleaned it up, but my markings, where I had the fingernail polish, so I put just a little mark. I took a hammer and a screwdriver and just made a little dent on these areas so I can still keep everything. It goes like that. Keep everything lined up just right. So to install this guy, it's kind of the reverse of what we just did. I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to where my grease fitting is here, because I want to make sure I have it in a nice area that I can reach. Actually, I think I'm going to have it pointed this way towards the front of the drive shaft here so I can get to it easy. And we're just simply going to slip it in place here. Now this is the real important part. When you take your caps, make sure that you're getting the needle bearings, that it just slides in nice and smooth, keeping all those needle bearings in place. Let's see here, looks like the needle bearings are catching just fine. We're just paying close attention that it's seating down in there nicely, that we're not having any issues with our needle bearings. And once we get it down flush, then we're going to use our socket to drive it in until we can get the snap ring in place. That looks far enough. And our snap ring. Just kind of spin it around, make sure it's seated in there nicely. And same thing on the other side. Like I said, if it's not seating down in there nicely, you might have a needle bearing off, so you might have to take it back apart if you just run into hard resistance where it just won't go any farther. My other tip, use a socket that you don't really care about because you can mushroom these out a bit. You can end up kind of ruining your socket, so be sure to use one that you don't care about. Goes this way. So we're going to repeat the same process with this side of the yoke. Alright, that's feeling much better. Let's get our little grease fitting in here. So a couple things that I'm doing here to keep the needle bearings in place. So this side I'm lifting up on this. I've only got one cap on here, this other cap's not on. And I'm kind of lifting this up to keep all the needle bearings in place. If you have it hanging way down here like this, and don't try to drive this in yet because it won't go in straight, it won't catch the needle bearings won't catch straight, so bring it up like that, get this guy started. Set our other guy on here. And at this point, just make sure I can move back and forth easily, and I kind of keep this guy in the middle so I can catch needle bearings on both sides. And this is exactly what I was talking about, so you guys can learn from my mistakes. So right here, let's see, there we are. So see that little gap right there? As I was driving this side down, I ran into resistance. It wasn't tapping down nicely anymore. And I look and you can't move this back and forth. It won't seat all the way up against the rubber bushing right there. See how there's rubber bushing on this side? How they all sit nice and flush down on it. If you end up with a gap like that, that's a warning that one of your needle bearings in there is tipped over on its side. It's laying on the bottom of the cap there. So I got to take this guy back out, check my needle bearings, get them all in alignment, and then put it back together. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Watch out for that. There's the culprit. That one little needle bearing fell down. So the moral of the story, the caps, they should slide down. They should hammer down just fine, nice and smooth. If it's going nice and smooth, then all of a sudden you run into hard resistance, it won't go anymore, but the cap is not seated all the way. You've got a needle bearing out of place. So there we go, now we're set. Second time around, and you can see how, where's my hand, there it is. So now we don't have any gap here, and the caps just slid in real nice and smooth. So much better, that's what we're looking for. Just double checking my marks here, so I can get everything back how it was. And it went in like this. There we go. Let's get our little strap bolts back on here, and we're gonna tighten these down and then torque them to 14 foot-pounds. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to, next we're going to grease it up, and then we'll check our, and then we'll top off our transfer case fluid because you're most likely going to lose a little bit. You want to make sure that's full. But yeah, next time I do this job, I think I'm definitely jacking the Jeep up a little bit, get it up a little higher, because crawling under there filming while I'm trying to do this, make a video for you guys, it's kind of tight quarters down there. And I had to film from the driver's side so you guys could see what was going on, so the muffler wasn't in the way. What do you think on my muffler? Need a new muffler, don't I? And there are a few other methods. You can actually use a vise to kind of press those caps on and get them started at least, but you still have to use a socket to drive them in the rest of the way. There's a look at the Chilton manual, kind of describing. So this would work as well using a vise, and you could just put a socket on the side there to help drive it in. Or if you want to pick yourself up an expensive little press, that would work as well. So there's multiple ways to do this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you want to help support the Jeep Solid Garage, check out my Patreon page, linked in the description below. Thank you guys, have a good day.